Good morning. Pleasure to be here. And I think today the discussion about the single market, about our competitiveness, actually is an issue of our national security. I think that geopolitically, Europe is still vulnerable, and this is because of dependencies, critical dependencies, especially from the raw materials supply. My country is doing quite well in reducing those dependencies, and probably you know that my country was first to stop buy Russian energy resources few months after the war in Ukraine broke out. This was because of our strong political commitment and because of very consequent actions in order to reduce this dependence. I think on the European level we can do the same, and this is really shame that 4 years after the beginning of the war in Ukraine, we still are talking about our dependencies on Russian energy resources, and we are ready to stop buy Russian energy resources only next year. China is the issue too, and accidentally my country experienced some problems with China in 2021. Still, they have some problems to export to this country. But you know, in each crisis, there are also opportunities. And this was the reason why our business was ready to expand to the alternative markets, also in the Pacific region, and actually offset the impact of economic coercion from the side of China. What we also should discuss, and it will be my point in today's discussion, high energy prices and limited accessibility to the capital market. So we are really enthusiastic about the Saving and Investment Union. We think that we should use creative resources and creative ideas in order to make this link between the low-yield deposit accounts of European savers and productive investment better, more efficient. And I think one of the ideas could be used to use national development banks. Actually, we in Lithuania, we established the National Development Bank, and now we would like to explore the possibility how to transfer the part of deposits accumulated by commercial banks to this National Development Bank, of course on mutually beneficial basis, in order to close these gaps, because some gaps are still because of unwillingness of the commercial banks to go into the risky and highly innovative but risky projects. I think this idea could be discussed today. Also, it's very important to talk about expanding of free trade regimes and expand the list of countries where European Union have the free trade regimes. I think very good decisions regarding India, regarding Mercosur, regarding Indonesia. Now we have to go further. Australia, Philippines, and other countries of the region could be in this list too. It expands our possibilities, it expands and let us diversify our export markets, and my experience or experience of my country shows that diversification of export markets is the best tool to survive some droughts of economic activity here in the region. Lithuania is growing at 3% right now, and of course is pretty ahead of our countries.
Can you explain? There's been a lot of discussion after the Letta and the Draghi report, and today again more discussions on competitiveness. Which exact measures are concretely possible to implement in a swift manner? What is on the table?
I would like to see the regime 28 or 28th regime working. Of course, this would be a very good idea to apply unified procedures and unified rules of game for startups, because I strongly believe in the future of startups in Europe. Again, I can refer to the experience of my country. back in 2016, we had very ambitious goal to become the hub for fintechs in Europe. And we implemented very favorable regulatory framework for potential fintechs coming from across Europe. And it helped. And actually in several years we managed that Lithuania is the, capital of fintechs. So we can do this and we can repeat this on the European level too. So what is needed? Less discussions, more commitment and actions. We have been discussing so long time, and I think this is a time to take the decisions. Because the time is precious and the time is running out, and of course it would be highly controversial and highly disappointing to lose this competitiveness, competitiveness fight against our rivals.
Can you explain why this topic is so important now? There is analysts speaking about an economic war. What do you think about that?
Economic war. Okay, this is, I wouldn't call this war, but this is strong competition, and there is no mercy in this strong competition. So we have, on the one hand, we can complain and say that the world is unjust, but on the other hand, I think this is not the time to complain, and we have to take the decisions and to be strong too. If we are strong, then there is no ground to complain. So I think, again, I will refer to my main idea. Discussions are useful, but after the discussions, the decisions have to come.
President, you mentioned national banks, national development
yes.
banks.
By the way, we are really eager to use the example of France. And actually, the role model of France is very interesting for us. And actually, this idea to transfer the savings accounts from the commercial banks to the National Development Bank. Actually, we borrowed this idea from French example.
This is still a national project. There's no European project.
Oh, okay, but as always, I am a strong believer that we can use the ideas we accumulate nationally to the pan-European level. This is my idea.
Kaip vertinate 28 režimą tarp europietišką ir kitus pasiūlymus?
Aš manau, kad tiek Letos, tiek Mario Draghi reportai yra iš tikrųjų ta bazė, kurios pagrindu mes galėtume dirbti toliau ir priimti sprendimus. Iš esmės mūsų diskusiją reikėtų suskaidyti į du elementus. Tai pirmiausia, tas geopolitinis arba geoekonominis aspektas, kuomet Europa traktuojama kaip tam tikra pasaulio rinkos sudėtinė dalis. Ką turėtume padaryti, kad Europa būtų stipresnė šitoje globalinėje konkurencinėje kovoje. Ir kita diskusijos dalis susijusi su mūsų vidiniais iššūkiais ir pirmiausia su aukštos prieigos prie kapitalo rinkos. Tai pirmoji klausimo atrodytų, kad receptai yra tikrai žinomi ir jie yra sveikintini. Aš manau, kad kuo daugiau turėsime laisvosios prekybos režimo su kiek galima daugiau pasaulio valstybių, tuo mūsų eksportas bus labiau diversifikuotas.